Hello, my neighbor. Let's talk about in the United States, English is the common language. Okay, we're going to have some fun today. We got another hot take. We got another fun bit. Check out this title. What is language? All right, so I want to set this one up really quick because I was just hanging out with the Department of Transportation secretary during a brief, and he was explaining how there's certain states that are not following the rules to the game. They're not following the law, and they're not holding the people who have CDL license or commercial driver's license to the rules, right? So English is supposed to be the language of the people in America, and there's states that are not doing this, and we don't like this. We do not like this. So it set us off, so we want to do a quick bit, all right? And that's why we say in the United States, English is the common language. And what is language? So when we watch other people from other parts of the world come to our country called the United States of America, and they talk to our representatives, right? Sometimes they have to have translators, right? Because we speak English and they may speak another language, but there has to be somebody who translates for them so then we can be on the same page. That's what I do, okay? You know, I translate for people. Now, drop down, and I want to give a shout out to the DMV, the Department of Motor Vehicles, for showing us how they manage our vehicle systems. All right, so I really appreciate the people that work at the DMV, and I really appreciate how you guys show us how you manage our systems. I like how you show us how you follow the terms and the conditions as written within your job description. Thank you for your service, and thanks for this jump off bit. Now, let's go ahead and hop on this hot take. What is language? So before we go, we have to lay down some terms and some conditions so you and we can agree upon them, so we can be on the same page. Okay, my neighbor? Now check out these terms right here. Common, right? And focus on the highlight, all right? Common is belonging to the public. That's what common is. Common is having no separate owner. That's what common is, okay? You know, so there's a lot of people, I'm gonna just pause on this bit. There's a lot of people who don't understand the difference between the public realm and the private realm. They're different jurisdictions, all right? So we created a common realm for the public to be able to operate in, and that's why we wrote down terms and conditions within our state's constitutions. And that's what our public servants are supposed to be managing. They're supposed to be managing the common space, right? The common markets, right? That's what belongs to the public, right? The common roads, the common seas, the common air, right? This is what belongs to the public, right? And then they're supposed to manage it for us so then we can get out there and we can have fun trading amongst each other. But we're finding out right now that this is not happening. So we're having people who are in positions who don't know how to manage their positions, right? And we don't like this, okay? This is why we're showing you the terms and the conditions right now. Now drop down and check out this term language, all right? Language is tongue. Language is speech. Language, human speech. That's what it is. Language, the expression of ideas by words or significant articulate sounds for the communication of thoughts. All right, this is why we need to hear your words. We need to hear your words because we know everything about you by the words that you speak, right? And this is why we know who you are and what you are, and we know who you serve because of the words that you tell us, all right? So whatever hyphen man, whatever hyphen woman, whatever hyphen person, whatever hyphen people you want to call yourself, we know who your master is because you're telling us with your speech, all right? So we know what's going on inside your mind because of your speech. And this is why in America we have free speech, so people can speak whatever's on their mind, because then that way we know how it is that you think, and then that way we know if you and I can come to an agreement, okay? So put those two terms in your back pocket. Never move from that position, okay? common language. And I guarantee you, once you understand how to execute and operate these words, you're going to bring down your stress levels a whole lot, okay? Because in America, we speak English. That's our common language. I'm going to show you some proof right now. So we have this other bit where you say, keep it super simple. This is our KISS, because we love to kiss, because we like keeping it super simple. Now I'm going to show you a provision from our Constitution, because this is in California, and we have other states' constitutions too, but this is a bit from California Constitution, because California was being singled out for not being able to uphold the law, right? They were not administering the law. They were not administering the people's public trust, and people are being harmed because there's people on the roads, on the common roads right now, that are driving vehicles that shouldn't be driving vehicles because they don't speak the common language. All right, and we're going to show you what the common language is right now, okay? Check this out. Focus on the highlight. English is the common language of the people of the United States of America and the state of California. All right, right there. So that's a mic drop, right? That's a mic drop right there. So we know we have a huge problem right now because, example, so like when I go to the DMV, right, the Department of Motor Vehicles, which is an agent underneath the jurisdiction of California, right? So the DMV is one of my creatures. It is one of my agents. It is subject to me. And when I go in there and then I see DMV books and they're written in all sorts of different languages, not English, I don't understand what's going on. I'm like, wait, what's going on? Why do we have DMV books, which was where people go to get their driver's license so they can drive on the common roads within America? Why are they written in different languages, right? Why are there so many different languages that are not English that are allowing people to get driver's license here in California? We don't like that, because in our Constitution, we tell you English is the common language of the people of the United States of America and the state of California. So if you want to operate within our commercial realm, and if you want to operate within our public realm, then it will behoove you to learn English, because that's the common language. All of our signs are in English, and this is why we don't understand why we have public signs that have different languages on it right now. We don't like this, right? There's a problem that's going on right now in our government, and it's not being managed properly, and we don't like this, okay? So go ahead and drop down and look at B for Bravo. It says English as the official language of California. English is the official language of the state of California. So there's multiple spots in this article, in this provision right here, that shows that English is the common language. And this is why we need to level up our public servants right now, because they're acting out of bounds. They're not doing what it is that we told them that they're supposed to do. So that's every legislative entity, that's every executive entity, and that's every judicial entity, and any other agent that falls underneath the jurisdiction of the constitutions, right? If you are not providing, and if you are not showing and teaching people English, right, then they can't operate in our markets, right? And we need to level them up, because we got a lot of people right now here in America that can't speak English, and we got to teach them English so then that way they can operate in our markets. Until then, they can't operate in our markets, or they can't drive, right? because if you're driving a vehicle, that can be technically a weapon, right? Like full disclosure, I saw a friend of the family's friend got hit by a dude in a car, right? Because this dude was driving crazy, and this dude speaks English, right? So he used the vehicle as a weapon, and he caused harm to somebody, and he speaks English, and he is what you would call an American citizen, right? So when you have people of America that are using cars as weapons, right, then we don't like that. And then when you have people who are driving these vehicles, which could be used as weapons, who don't understand the signs that are around them, then that's dangerous. That causes a danger to the public, and we don't like that, okay? So we're done with that bit. Drop down. I'm going to show you my job description, because this is why I do what I do, because I'm supposed to teach all nations. All nations are all people. So one man is a people, one woman is a people. When you put them together, they're called the United States. And I love showing you guys the rules to the game. Now check out this bit right here. This is from a provision from our Constitution too. Look at what it says. it says all political power is inherent in the people, ... right? What does that mean? That means that the people, me, I have all political power. That means I have all legislative power, I have all executive power, and I have all judicial power, right? And then what we've done is that we've granted little bits of our power to our legislatures, to our executives, and to our judicial entities, and by default, the agencies too get a little sliver of our power. But when we read the terms and the conditions, and when we go into our agencies and we see that you guys are not doing what you're supposed to be doing, we don't like that. And this is why we're circling back around and we're talking to our legislatures, we're talking to our executives, and we're talking to our judicial entities, and we're talking to our agencies, entities too, and we're finding out, do you know the rules to the game? That's why we're asking you 3 questions right now. And we're noticing some of you are failing, right? You know, some of you are failing because like a lot of you don't know that the people have all political power, or you think that the people, you would agree that the people have all political power, but it's dependent on something of what they call direct democracy. And we're like, oh, okay, looks like you don't know the law like how you think you know the law, because nowhere written in our Constitution is direct democracy, okay? All of our governments are Republican in form. Remember this? And we're going to be cool. So I'm done with that bit. Let's go ahead and walk it back up. So I wanted to show you that kiss because I wanted to show you that English is the common language of the people of the United States and the state of California, okay? So all of the states are English. It's all English, right? So it will behoove you to learn English. If you're coming from another part of this realm and you want to join our political association called the United States of America or the state of California, then it will behoove you to learn the language, the common language, okay? Because then you'll be able to level up and you'll be able to have fun, okay? And then I wanted to show you what language is, and I wanted to show you what common is, okay? So once you understand that English is the common language of the people of the United States, then you're going to be cool. Then you're going to be able to talk to all of your neighbors and you're going to be able to have fun because we will have a common language to be able to understand each other with, okay? And then we won't get lost in translation like how a lot of our neighbors are lost right now, okay? And that's that hot take on what is language. So now you know what language is because we're showing you the tongue and we're showing you the speech, the common speech and the common tongue of the people of America and of the people of the state of California, okay? It's English. Remember this, and we're gonna be cool. All right, we're done with that bit. Let's hop on our next slide. Conclusion. This is my closeout game, and I love it. Trust God, okay? Trust God. Put your trust in God. Put your property in God's trust, and I guarantee you will bring down your stress levels a whole lot. Because then all you have to learn how to do is to dress and keep my Father's property, because my Father is God. Because I've been washed into the family through the blood of Jesus Christ. So I am an adopted family member in my Father's kingdom, you know, and I have to represent because I'm an ambassador. And this is why I'm always showing you guys the terms and the conditions. And this is why I'm really trying to point you at how to dress and keep my Father's property, God's property, because every man and every woman, even if you don't know it, you're property of Father God because he created you, because creator creates creation. Okay, so that's my closeout bit right there. And I'm going to say that for now and on until Father taps me out, because I want my neighbors to understand the rules to the game. Okay. All right. So we're done with that bit. Let's go ahead and walk it back up. So I wanted to give a shout out to the DMV for showing us how they manage our vehicle systems. I really appreciate the people that work for the DMV, and I really appreciate the people that work for our government, because you guys are showing us clearly how you manage our systems. Thank you for your service, and thanks for this jump off bit. And then I wanted to do that hot take on what is language. So now you know what language is, and now you know language is tongue and language is speech, okay? Remember this, and we're gonna be cool. And then I wanted to talk about how in the United States, English is the common language. So just remember this, right? If you are in the United States, then you must understand that English is the common language of the people of the United States and of California. Okay, remember this. All right, so you got to understand the common language, which means you got to learn English. All right, so you can have your other language of whatever it is that you may want to speak, because that could be your bloodline or wherever you came from. You can use that, but when you're operating in the public or in the common space, then you need to know English, because this is how we get to trade with each other. Okay, my neighbor, this is how we make things pass from hand to hand or mind to mind through English. All right, so we're done. Thank you. I'll see you in the future. By God with love. And remember, nobody's having more fun than us. Bye.